तेनावधि तमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमतः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। So, as we discussed last evening, that Dakshinamurti ji, the teacher, is the theme of this stotra. Sureshwaracharya ji, one of the foremost disciple of Bhagavan Bhashyakara, that is Shankaracharya ji, has written a Vartika called Manasollasa, which is a work composed in the poetry form upon this Dakshinamurti Stotra, in which he writes this verse: Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. There he writes this, which means that Ishvaraha, Guru and Atma, Dakshinamurti ji is as it were divided in these three forms, but is in reality one, and in reality he is like the space, formless, all-pervasive space. To that Dakshinamurti, my salutations. So, Sureshwaracharya, who has written this, forms this thing, that three, as if Dakshinamurti ji divided in three forms, but is really one appearing as these three forms. So that forms the theme, the main theme of this verse. And by the way, along with this, in each of the verses, there will be some differences wherein Dakshinamurti ji in that form, in the perception of Jiva in that way, or the truth presented in that form, will be offered salutations. So that will be the main theme of this verse. Now, he says Namaha to this Dakshinamurti. Namaha, which means salutation. Namaha here, or even otherwise, it means total surrender. Here the sadhaka or the mumukshu is surrendering to the teacher in the fullest sense of the term. Surrender of the ego. Mainly, it is the ego which stands between the truth and yourself. Between the truth and yourself, the one who stands is the ego. That ego itself is offered. Ego is primarily nothing but false notions. Ego is the sense of individuality. When this comes, then I myself distance myself from the truth. And so in our tradition, when the disciple bows down, then it is Sashtanga Namaskara, where all the limbs of the body touches the ground, and all the limbs, and along with that even this head, the mastaka, where the ego really is. So it signifies that this ego is offered to you. This false notion, which is not really there, but it claims as if it is real, that itself is offered. So Namaha means total surrender. That is why when we will be reading this, we will find that in the last line of each verse, the refrain comes, Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Nama Idam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Means we offer this salutation unto the teacher in the form of Dakshinamurti who has come before us. So that will be seeing. So now let us begin with the verse itself, with the verse proper. So the first verse I'm reading, you repeat after me. Vishwam darpana drishyamana nagari tulyam nijantargatam Pashyannatmani mayaya bahirivod bhutai yatha nidraya Yas sakshat kurute prabodha samaye svatmanamevadvayam Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. So here salutations are offered to Dakshinamurti in different forms. In the very first form, it is Dakshinamurti in the form of the very self. It is Namaskara to Atma alone. But which Atma? Atma or the self, which is deluded in the beginning, which is under the influence of avidya or maya. In the first two lines, we will see that there is ignorance pertaining to the self, means there is ignorance in life. And in the third line, you will find that the same self, or who is in the form of Dakshinamurti, he is enlightened. He gets the teachings, and that is how he awakes from this slumber of ignorance and is now enlightened. First, due to ignorance, what was the perception? And then, after the knowledge, what is the perception? That is shown here. But the same self is presented as Dakshinamurtiji. First deluded, and then one who is enlightened. To that, Tasmai Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. So this salutation is to Shri Dakshinamurtiji, who is manifest in the form of my teacher. To Shri Dakshinamurtiji. Along with this Dakshinamurti, Shri is attached. What is the Shri? Shri is beauty. Shri is Shobha. Shri is Saundarya. What kind of Saundarya is there? This teacher is accompanied with the beauty in the form of knowledge. Beauty in Tattva Bodhatmika Shri. This knowledge, the Shri, is in the form of the knowledge. Knowledge is beauty. There is nothing more beautiful than knowledge, and especially the clarity of knowledge. When the knowledge is crystal clear, it is the strength, it is the beauty. Knowledge is real strength. Atmana vindate viryam vidyaya vindate amrutatvam. That is what Kenopanishad says. It is Vidya, which is real immortality. And when that is with you, that is the real Shobha. That is the real beauty. And so, Dakshinamurti has this kind of beauty. Other beauty is also there, but that is how it is described. To this Dakshinamurtiji, my namaskar, my salutations, where, as I said, the sense of ego is completely offered at the feet of the teacher. Now, the first two lines show what is the drishti in ignorance. See, ignorance is something which we have not invited. It is already there. It is right there from the beginning. We are all born ignorant. We have not come with knowledge. Had knowledge been there, there was no need for all this, no need for this learning, etc. Since it is not there, there is ignorance in life. And what is ignorance? Ignorance is characterized by, I am different from the world. I am different. You are different. This difference is of such a nature which causes problems in me. I am different from the entire creation. What I am different from, what I am separated from, is immense. This creation, the entire creation, is not a small thing. I am a small, insignificant today. Today in ignorance, my perception, my drishti, my way of looking at the world is what? That I am subject, you are object. And objects are manifold. And none of them is me. I am different from all of them. And what I am different from, some of the things are highly significant. They have much more in terms of strength, quality, and many other things which I do not have. Moment I realize, moment I cognize that I don't have what they have, it creates sense of fear. It creates many complexes in me, which is the real source of unhappiness, which makes you feel helpless and helpless. I don't have something which you have. Makes me small and creates a sense of tremendous complexes, sometimes superiority complex also, but more often than not inferiority complex. But both superiority or inferiority, both complexes creates, both are source of sorrow. Both are source of grief. Even if I am greater than you, but I am different from you. There is distance between us. Sometimes you may be favorable to me, and more often than not, you may not be favorable. Again, this creates problems. At each and every step in duality, at each and every moment in duality, there is nothing but dukkha. Taittiriya Upanishad very beautifully says, Udaramantarang kurute atha tasya bhayam bhavati. Even if slightest of distance, duality doesn't mean that you are different, that is called, but what you have that I do not have. What you possess that I don't have. That creates problem. Variety doesn't create problem. Variety we enjoy. In food, in many, if all the trees are same, if all the countries are same, if everything is same, then there is no spice. So variety is good. Variety creates spice, but what that has that I don't have, that is duality. That bheda is really duality. And when I am equipped, or when I have that perception, there is nothing but fear. Udaram antarang kurute, when the slightest distance is created, then there is fear. Invariably, there is fear. Dvitiyadvai bhayam bhavati. Bhayam goes along with this perception of duality. And ignorance is characterized by this subject-object duality. Whereas the reality is entirely different, thank God. Thank God, reality is entirely different. Reality is something which we love inherently, but we do not know that it is a fact here and now. Here and now, duality doesn't obtain. And that is what first verse is showing us. It says, see, Vishwam Darpana in ignorance. When I do not know, what happens? Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam. This Vishwam means this creation, but this creation is very peculiar. Vividha Pratyaya Gamyam. Vishwam means Vividha Pratyaya Gamyam, which is full of variety, which is all different. If no two things are similar, our two earlobes also may not be similar. No two people's fingerprints are similar. There is variety. But what kind of Vishwam is this, where everything is different? Jati, Kriya, Guna, Sambandha, sentient, insentient, everything is different. But how is this creation? Vishwam Darpana Drushya Mana Nagari Tulyam. It is like the city seen in a mirror. Vishwam, this creation, Bhashyakara is giving us here a brilliant example. He says that this creation is like a city, Nagari, seen in a huge mirror. In some showroom or in some mall, etc., there may be a very big mirror. And you see the city inside the mirror. You are seeing something where it is not. This example is to exemplify that you are seeing something where it is not. Nagari, the entire city is seen there in the mirror. What is there in the city? So many things are there. People are coming from this side, other one is coming from that side, different people of different ages, looks, etc. They are coming, vehicles are coming, trees are there, cars are, so many things. So many things, a huge thing is going on in the city. All of that you are seeing in the mirror. In city, people have height, weight, everything. The people are fighting also. So many things are going on. All of that is seen on the surface of the mirror, which is what? Plane. The surface of the mirror is plane. It doesn't have the capacity to hold you, to show your depth, to hold your depth, height, weight, all of that. The mirror is just plain surface. And you see this creation in that. You are seeing it where it is not. And with the variety, with the complexities, which the mirror doesn't have. Like children. Supposing children go to see a movie for the first time. They are children from the village. Supposing they go to see a mirror or a movie for the first time. Then on the movie things are happening. There are, sweets are being served, drinks are being served, so many things. And in the interval also so many things appear. Then a child is perplexed. He wonders, what is this? This Golagappas are right there before him. So he just goes close to the screen and tries to touch and find out if that sweet is right there or not. And what does he find? What he finds is nothing but the surface of the screen. But he thinks that what he is seeing is right over there. Similarly, this Vishwam is seen as it were, it is on the Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam. It is similar to the city seen in a mirror, which means it is not where you see. Okay? Atma is comparable to the plane surface of the mirror. Just as the mirror doesn't have anything to hold that, doesn't have the depth which you see inside the mirror, similarly Atma, consciousness, is what? Satchidananda Atma is nothing but Satchit Anand. Asti Bhati Priyam. Nothing but isness, nothing but it shines, and nothing but happiness, or nothing but joy or ananda. This is what the reality is. But instead of that, you see what over here? You see the nama, rupa and many other things that go with the nama and rupa. With the nama and rupa, so many things go. Qualities go, kriya goes. All these things you see in nama and rupa. But in reality, what is there? Nothing but just in the darpana is nothing but a plain surface. Similarly here there is nothing but Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta consciousness. Sat Chit Ananda. Then Bhashyakara further says, plus Nijantaragatam Pashyan Atmani Mayaya Bahihi iva udbhutam yatha nidraya. Now another example is given. Yatha nidraya. Just as in sleep. Nidra means, see, in dream is caused by nidra. Dream has come about because of the sleep. In the sleep, a part of your mind is awake. A very small part of the mind is awake. And that mind projects the entire dream world. So, because of this cause of nidra, because of the sleep, this projection called dream has come about. So, Bhashyakara says, just as in dream, because of the sleep, you see the entire creation or dream world you see. Where is this dream world? Nijantaragatam. Where is it? It is inside you. Dream world which you see while you are sleeping, you are seeing you have the whole world before you. The dream world. Where is it actually? Nija antaragatam. It is right within you. Within you means what? Not in the heart. Not in if you do the surgery, you will not find the dream world inside you. But it means nija antaragatam. It means that it is nothing but the play of mind. Nothing but the mind which is spread out. The samskaras of the Jagrat. How has the dream come about? Shastra says that the samskaras of the Jagrat Avastha, in the waking state, you went through many experiences. Some of the experiences were so solid that they have left their samskaras in the mind. They have left their imprint. Some of the experiences of the waking state have left such an imprint on the mind that it remains there. And then, after you go to sleep, you can't remove that. And so mind projects. Mind manifests itself in the form of the dream world. So, dream is nothing but mind. Chitta spandanam. It is nothing but the vibration of the mind. It is nothing but the play of the mind. Mind has spread out. But you don't know that it is my mind that I am seeing. At that time, while you are dreaming, swakale satyavad bhati. While you are dreaming, what do you think? You don't know. You are not, what you see is taken as real. What you see in the dream, at that time, that vyavahar of the subject and object, grahya grahaka bhava, subject and object interaction is going on constantly in the dream. And in the dream also, you see inanimate objects, you see sentient objects, but both the sentient as well as insentient. Subject, object. Who is all this? Nothing but your mind. Mind has become everything. And it's playing with itself. The entire play, the dream world is going. But where is it? It is inside you. Nija antaragatam. But mayaya, nijantaragatam Atmani Mayaya, because of the ignorance. Here Maya means avidya. It means ignorance. Because of the ignorance, Bahihi iva udbhutam. You think as if it is outside you. As if it is outside you. Bahihi iva udbhutam. As if all that you see is outside you. Whereas actually what is going on is nothing but inside. Nija antara gatam. Everybody doesn't believe this. There are some philosophers who say the dream is real. What you see in the dream is real. So in Mandukya Karika, this whole topic is discussed at length. There is a Mandukya Upanishad, and upon that Karika is written by Gaudapadacharyaji. Brilliant and most amazing and beautiful work is done. Mandukya Upanishad is just consisting of just 12 mantras. But upon that, Karika is written by Gaudapadacharyaji. Gaudapadacharyaji, this is just by the way, was the teacher of Bhashyakara's teacher. Govindapadaji is the teacher of Sri Shankaracharyaji. And his teacher is Gaudapadacharya. So the grandfather, as it were. He has written this Karika. In that, in the second chapter of the Karika, that is Vaitatya Prakranam, there very beautifully this dream example is taken up. There is a reason behind this, to show that just as the dream world is mithya in the sense that it is just projection going on within you, a big similarity is shown over there. That just as this dream is nothing but projection, but appears real at that time, similarly, this entire creation is similar to dream. We will not call it dream, but is similar to dream. The satta, the reality of this creation, this concrete creation which you see before you, is similar to the dream world projected by your mind at that time. To show this is the purpose of that Mandukya Karika and Mandukya Upanishad too. But there in that Vaitatya Prakranam, Gaudapadacharyaji says that the dream world is mithya. Why? Because some people insist that no, dream world is also real. So there very logically it is shown that how can it be real? In the dream, a person goes through many years. There he is born also and goes through all the stages of life and dies also. Where is the time for all this to happen in the dream? There is no time, one reason. Plus, there is no space also. You see if you dream here in Rishikesh, you will see Gangaji flowing. You will see Himalayas and hills and all that. Where is the place? Where is the time for all that to happen in dream? Samrutatvena hetuna. Because it is a very confined, narrow space in some very small vein of the mind this is going on. So samrutatvena hetuna, this is not possible. What you see in the dream cannot be real. Why? Because it is not possible. Similarly, the entire creation, yatha nidraya swatmani mayaya, in sleep, just as in dream, when you see all this, because of the ignorance of your own self, which makes you project this and makes you think that what you see is outside of you. In the dream also, there is inside and outside. In the dream also, there is a subject. Something is going on in his mind inside, his imaginations, his fears, his complexes are all inside him. and there is the world outside him. So in dream also certain things are outside, and there are cognizance and many other things going on inside. In the dream, which itself is false, there is inside also and outside also. But in reality, it is not there. What is inside is seen outside. What is inside is seen outside. And there, subject, object, vyavahara goes on very well. But all of this is what? Moment you wake up. When you wake up, you come to know that it's not there. The life of the dream world was how much? Until you woke up. Until you wake up, this dream world lasts. Not more than that. Sometimes you wish that it lasts longer. Sometimes. If your dream is good, if you have won a lottery, or you visiting some place, or you find the right partner, something, what you desire, and that happens, then you wish, I wish it was real. And sometimes there are nightmares in dream too. But more often than not, these nightmares make you wake up. These nightmares only make you wake up. There is fire in the dream, and you are trapped inside, and you are shouting. And then you are so much disturbed by, you can't come out, and you are so much disturbed that fire itself makes you wake up. Makes you wake up to what? It makes you wake up to see that what I was seeing is not, thank God. Thank God it is not real. Sometimes the tatparya is that what you see is not out there. It was merely a projection, figment of your imagination. Bhashyakara is saying this Vishwa, this entire creation enjoys that kind of reality, that degree of reality, that kind, what? It is mithya, there is no, mithya means appearance. The translation for mithya is what? Apparent. Apparent means what? It appears to be there, but in reality is not there. It appears. Yes, asad bhasamanam. That which is not there yet appears to be there. It appears to be there, but there is no substantiality about it. It may look substantial, this wall and things like that looks very substantial. Some people argue that if this is mithya, as you call it, then walk through this. Walk through this wall, and then you will find out whether it is mithya or real. Blood will come out. You will fall flat. Tell me whether it is mithya or not. Even if you are injured, what remains is true. What remains? The truth that it is mithya. What is happening? What appears as solid, even though it appears as solid, it is at that time that it is solid. In the wake of knowledge, it is not true. Just as in the dream world also, you fall in the river and you are gone. But you are gone only in that dream. You are really gone. And people take you. But still, that you are awake, you are alive is very much true. So, it is one degree of reality. Dream has one degree of reality. And waking has another degree of reality. In that example, dream enjoys one degree of reality. What is that reality? Mithya. What is that reality? Apparentness. Apparent, which means it appears, but there is no concreteness about it, no substantiality about it. Similarly, this vyavaharik satta, which the Vishwa enjoys, vyavaharik satta is of one kind. What is this vyavaharik satta? that I am different from you, you are different from me. There are inanimate objects, animate objects, so many things. There is space, there is time, so many things here. But none of that has absolute reality. None of that absolute means Paramarthik Satta. Consciousness or Atma is what? Has Paramarthik Satta. Paramarthik Satta means it has absolute reality. Whereas Vyavahara has what? It has temporary, some kind of reality. It appears to be true but is not true. This is what Lord Krishna also points to Arjuna right in the 2nd chapter. When Arjuna is lamenting, that time Bhagavan goes right, he begins right with a bang, you know. He says, what you are lamenting for something which is not there. And then he goes on to say, Na sato vidyate bhavaha, na bhavo vidyate sataha. Bhagavan says, na asataha vidyate bhavaha. There asata, understand this very well. Asata does not mean void. Asata there does not mean shunyam. If the shunyam I don't see, doesn't create any problem for me. But there asata means mithya. Asata means what you are seeing is not there as you see it. So, na asataha, what you see, that mithya, what you see is not there. And sat, na asataha vidyate bhavaha, mithya doesn't have any reality and it is never there to begin with. And na sato vidyate ba, na abhavaha vidyate sataha. That which is true in all the 3 periods of time and even after time, what remains, what is the reality, the Paramarthik Satta, it is never going to happen that it will not be. Whereas mithya is that which was not there in the beginning, which will not there be in the end, but which appears to be in the middle. Karikakara also says, Adavante cha yan nasti. In the beginning and in the end it is not there. Just as the dream son, this person doesn't have any children. But in the dream he has one. Now tell me, this son was not there before he went to sleep? When he will wake up, son will not be there. Ado ante cha yan nasti. Vartamanepi tattatha, but which appears in the middle. In the dream he appears to be there. But what is the nature of that? It is vitatha. Vitatha means it is not there. Even though he sees, it is not there. Similarly, this creation which you see before you is comparable to dream. Just as the dream is inside you, projection, but still appears to be out, as if real, similarly, upon Satchidananda Atma, this creation is nothing but projection. Just as snake is projected upon rope. That what is there in reality is nothing but rope. What you see, when you see a snake, I hope everybody is familiar with this example of rope and snake, so I'm not going into explaining it right from the beginning, that in the semi-darkness, you see an object and you think that it is a snake, but with the light when you see, then you find that the snake is not there at all. But even when you are seeing, your friend tells you, what you see as snake is in reality rope. Rope appears as what? As snake. What is there? There is definitely something. It's not that there is nothing. Niradhisthana. There cannot be kalpana on niradhisthana, without a platform, without there being something, kalpana cannot be there. Dream cannot come if this fellow is not there, if the mind is not there. Similarly, this creation has some substratum. And what is that? Chaitanya. What is there? Atma. Upon that, this creation is projected, comparable like a snake, like the snake projected upon rope. It is comparable to that. But you take it as real. And what happens when you take it as real? Nothing but tragedy. There cannot be comedy. Comedy is also tragedy. Comedy that we have in life, we laugh sometimes. But more is what? Shedding tears. More is nothing but tragedy. Why? Because the entire thing is nothing but projection. But you take it as real. This is Nidra. And see, just as in Nidra, because of Nidra comes the dream. So dream is being awake in sleep. Understand what I'm saying? Dream is nothing but being awake in sleep. Similarly, what we see, this creation is being awake in what? In Maya. In ignorance you are awake. Actually sleeping. Sleep characterized by ignorance. But so sleep is there, but in that this creation is projected and you take it as real. What happens when you take it as real? That is what we have to learn. The thing which is mithya, thing which is just an appearance, when you take it as real, then what? Then, as I said, there can be no real direction in life. Whatever when the foundation itself is wrong, when the foundation itself is shaky, how can the building, the whole high rise which you build upon it, what kind of foundation is that? It can fall any time. Similarly, in life, we get affected, we affect others. We give sorrow to others, others give sorrow to us. Even the happiness which we seem to give to each other is also based in ignorance only. Which means what is not real, when you take it as real, then you are misled. Then you can never be on the right path. So this Bhashyakara is saying, the creation which you see before you is comparable to the dream world. And it is comparable to the city seen in the mirror. Mirror has no city. Mirror cannot have the possibility of holding the city. Similarly, the Atma, which is like the Darpana, like the mirror, doesn't have all this which you see in the city. But still you see and you take it as real. Grahya, Grahaka, Bhava. And then what all you see, there is coming here, then going here, and then all the vikaras in between. And when you take it as real, so many desires are there. Actions are there. Karma phalas are there. Then to exhaust those things, to enjoy them, then you have to come again. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam. Why this? You have to come back again. Because what you see is real. I don't have it. I did not get it in this life. And then you have to again. You can never get rid of these desires. And which kind of desire? Binding desires. Not non-bind. There are certain desires which if they get fulfilled, fine. If they do not get fulfilled, then also fine. I wish there is some sweet in the lunch today. But if it is not there, okay, fine. Doesn't matter. Doesn't bind me. But some desires, if they are not fulfilled, then you know, there is no sense of happiness. I just want that. I cannot live without that. Ravana wanted Sitaji, no matter what happens. He was told, advised, counseled so many times, but he was bent upon it. Binding desire. I just have to have it. This is what happens. When you don't know the real and want to take it as real, this is not real. Then, but still all this appears real. How can you say, Swaminiji, this is not real? This serves the purpose. When I wear it in my neck, it looks beautiful. In the glass, you fill up the water. It quenches my thirst. Lunchtime when I eat, when I'm hungry, when I eat, it satiates my hunger. How can you say it is mithya? Mithya cannot do all this. You talk of mithya, but it cannot. Only mithya can do all this. Let me tell you, only mithya can serve a purpose. You need not have atma for quenching your thirst. Saprayojanata tesham. Even that which, see, because it is useful, it is serving a purpose, it is difficult for me to believe that it is mithya. Money serves purpose. Relationships give me warmth. How can my mother be mithya? Shastra will even go to the extent of telling you that Guru, Shishya, everything is mithya. The Shastra itself is mithya. Itself. But let me tell you, Shastra is like that fire in the dream, which wakes you up. Because of that fire, you got so disturbed and everything was choking inside and you woke up. Similarly, this wakes you up. But that doesn't mean it is real. Doesn't mean it is real. Real in the sense it is such, it has no substantiality in it. But still it appears as real. Why? Bhashyakara in Vartika says this very beautifully. We'll just quickly see that also. He says, Asti prakashyate iti vyavaharaha pravartate. Tatcha astitvam prakashyatvam kasmin arthe pratishtitam. That this thing is, it appears like this. It has this black color. It has a purpose. Where does all this really belong? It is not integral that this is, that this shines, that it is useful. That is not contained here. Understand this. That this is, isness, existence of this is not thanks to this object. Where does the isness of this belong to? Isness is not here, it is here. Nijantara. Like the Nagari appears in the mirror. It's not there. Similarly, it appears as if this is independent. I am because of myself. The astitva of this, the prakasha of this shines. But thanks to whom? I shine. I am. That is why this is. And this shines. Isness does not belong to this. Shining does not belong to this. See, this is and this shines. Then this is and shines. Then again, this grapes, this is better. The grapes also, this bunch of this thing is and it shines. First we took this is and shines. Here this is, what is this? I don't know also actually. Case for the glasses. So this is, and then this is and it shines. This necklace is and shines, plus it is a necklace. This bunch of grapes is and shines. Tell me, where does the difference lie? In the Nama Rupa of this object is one, Nama Rupa of this object is another, name and form and the use of this object is another, name and form and the use of this object is another, name and form and use of this object is another. But what is common to them? What is common? Is, shines. It makes itself evident. It's not integral to this. It is because I am, I shine, and I am beautiful. I'm not talking about the person. This person also is, shines. Other person also is. Now look at the entire creation in that way. Each and every object, take. Objects' name, form, functions are different. What is common to them? Asti, bhati. Sureshwaracharya ji asks, that isness and asti and bhati, isness and shining aspect, does it belong here or is it somewhere else? It is here. And this is common. There are no boundaries to that. Boundary of the body may stop here. But the boundary of I and I am, it goes everywhere. You also say I am. You also say. I also say. So the body has a boundary. Nama Rupa has a boundary. But what doesn't have? What sustains? What is the substratum? What is the common platform, common denominator? Atma, Chaitanya. Because it is, and it's the entire creation, right itself, right there, when you say that the Vishwam is, you are indicating two things. Which are those two things? Creation is and shines. Creation is. That time there itself, there is Satya and Mithya. That time itself, there itself, when we say we all are, this creation is full of variety, so many satellites and constellations and planets and Milky Way and galaxies, what not. Mind-boggling creation. But that time itself, Mithya is there, Satya is also there. Mithya cannot be without Satyam. In fact, Satyam itself appears as Mithya. Satyam itself appears as Mithya. Rope itself appears as snake. What appears is not true. But that which appears like that is true. So what appears is Mithya. But due to which it appears is Satyam. You don't see that. You see this object. You don't see that Asti Bhati. Don't try to see it also. It cannot be seen. But if I were not there, this would not be seen also. Understand? So the reality of the creation is here, right here. This, who came to know? Yas sakshat kurute prabodha samaye. See, in the first two lines, talks about Dakshinamurti ji, who is ignorant, who takes the world as real. This manifold creation is looked upon as real. There is one subject, object, I and many. This itself is samsara. Samsara can be described in all these ways. Samsara means I am different from you is samsara. That I am an individual is samsara. Samsara doesn't mean I have wife and children and I am earning. That is not samsara. Samsara is I am different. I am different from you. And that I is limited. Limited in so many ways. First, Dakshinamurti ji took it as real, which is our story. Dakshinamurti is writing our biography. It is our biography. Everybody's. So, Jiva, Tvam Pada, understand. In the Tattvamasi, this Vakya, there are three padas. Tat, Tvam, Asi. That you are. Now, here what is being discussed here is Tat, Tvam Pada. What is reality of me? What is real here? But what it takes, this individual takes himself to be limited person, but In reality is what? Reality is nothing, but he is the substratum of the entire creation. So in the first two lines, the nature of the creation is explained with two examples. Which two examples? Example of this city seen in a mirror, and the other example, city seen where it is not. Understand the difference. And dream example is what? It is seen outside, whereas in reality it is inside. Dream is this. But because of Maya, Swatmani Mayaya, because of your own ignorance, you take it to be out. You take it as outside of you, whereas in reality it is nothing but inside you. In short, what you see is not there, and what you see and you take it as real is also not true. But then we have to add, we have to fill in the blank. What? Then in the third line it is, yes, sakshat kurute prabodha samaye. But that Dakshinamurti, the Dakshinamurti who came to know this, what? That when he woke up, he came to know what? Swatmanam eva advayam. He came to know himself as what? Advayam. This is game changer. Sometimes in cricket and games, there is a game-changing shot or something, bowling or what. It changes the entire game, turns the table around. Similarly here, what happens? So far he thought that duality is there, and this is true, that is true. And now, from duality, the transformation is to what? Non-duality. There is nothing but Swatmanam eva advayam. He sees himself as Advaya. There is nothing other than me. Nothing other than me. How beautiful. I'm afraid of what? What is, I'm seeing my own reflections and I'm afraid of that. In reality, there is nothing but me. He came to know. How did he come? The miracle did not happen. He was just sitting. Suddenly he came to know. No such things happen. It may be happening in certain cases. They have earned it from the past. In some cases, when they come to know all of a sudden, there are Mahatmas, some they come to know. But that is the result of things done in the past. In some lives, something has been done. That unfinished task gets finished in this birth. But similarly here, when it is yes sakshat kurude, prabodha samaye. Prabodha samaye means when he woke up. How did he wake up? Somebody came. Who came? The teacher came. The teacher came and woke him up. He who was taking himself to be one of the creation, one of the persons of the creation, plus is limited, to him this knowledge is given. See, coming of the teacher, the advent of knowledge in life is not a miracle, is not an accident. It is not an accident by any chance. You have earned it by right way of living. That is where dharma comes. That is where karma yoga comes. That is where right values and attitudes come. That is why Lord Krishna emphasizes upon this, that this will pave the path for you to know one day the reality. Until then you won't know. Create the background. Create the ground first. And how is that? Even though it is one, you are taking it as different. Plurality is what you take as real. So all of a sudden you won't know. So begin. How to begin? What is the baby step? First step, that even though you take this thing to be different from you, this person to be different from you, serve him. Help him. Reach out. Very methodically, Lord Krishna is teaching this, that even if you think this one is different, but still stretch your ego. accommodate them within your fold. You still don't know that it is non-dual. You still don't know this pot takes this pot to be different. This is pot number, big pot, this is small pot. But still, this one is told, doesn't know that both are clay. But still, the teacher comes along and says, oh, please help. Be compassionate, be loving, be helpful. Why? So that in the process of doing that, what will happen? All your likes and dislikes will go, plus you will form the habit of helping, reaching out. That itself will create punya. Be a giver. Life is meant for giving, because in reality, when Lord Krishna and Shastra teaches that, it teaches from the background that you are full. You are Satchidananda, Purnatma, you don't need anything. You are a beggar today because you are not aware of what your reality is. But go and help. In doing that, you will one day own up this. One day you will own up this. And the ego will slowly and slowly and slowly be deracinated. Slowly. Its demands will be less. Its aggressiveness will be less. Insistences will be less. And there will be harmony. So in short, by right way of living, by living according to dharma, values, righteousness, which all the shastras, which all the dharmas, religions are one in this. When you live a life in this manner, then you are paving the way. Punya, you earn the grace. And then the heart is pure. And then this knowledge, and then the teacher comes along. When there is a need inside, I want to know. All this we have to read in between. Suddenly Sakshat Prabodha doesn't come. Suddenly one doesn't wake up. But when this happens, then Bhagavana himself comes in the form of teaching. If you are sitting there, he cannot do anything. Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. See, Bhagavana is there, but Bhagavan has to come and teach you. Otherwise, always he is everywhere. Doesn't help. We are still ignorant. Bhagavana is everywhere. Satchidananda is everywhere, but doesn't speak. Doesn't say anything. When will the change happen? When he comes in the form of the teacher and tells you that what you are taking as different from you is not different. You are not different from them. And what you are taking and thinking about yourself is also not true. Then, Mandukya Karika it is said, Anadi Mayaya Suptaha Yada Jivaha Prabudhyate. This Jiva who was sleeping in the sleep of ignorance since beginningless time. Such a Jiva who is here, Dakshinamurti is such a Jiva, presented here in that way. Yada Jiva Prabudhyate, he is woken up by the teacher. Coming of teacher is a big grace. Coming of teacher in your life is a big grace. Bhashyakara says in Vivek Chudamani, he says there are three things durlabha, very rare in life. Manushyatvam, Mumukshutvam, Mahapurusha, Samshraya. To be born as human being, rare. Rarer than that, to have mumuksha, the desire to be free. Otherwise, I am happy with life. Making merry. I am happy, eating, drinking, all that. No, but when I question, why this birth? Why this death? Why sorrow? Why grief? That is, then when you are in quest of truth, when you pine for that, that cry has to come out, please help, in some form or the other, please help. I cannot help myself. When that happens, the teacher comes along. Teacher is nothing but Krupa, grace of Ishvara. Ishvara himself comes in the form of teacher in your life. Then this happens, Prabodha Samaye. Yes, when he is taught, oh my God, and then the perception changes. Yes, Sakshat Kurute, oh my God, what I thought to be different, what I took it as real is nothing but me playing with myself. Supposing this creation, it is nothing but play of myself with myself. Sometimes you play when there is no other partner, then you play cards with yourself. From this side also you put, and the other side also. This creation is nothing but sport of Brahman sporting with himself. Brahman sporting with himself. This you come to know. Means you are now awake. Just as from the dream, you are awake in the waking state. Similarly, this big dream, this won't go away, by the way. But you are woken up means what? Now you come to know the mithyatva, the unreality of all this. Doesn't mean that it will go away now. Now it will just fuse all in one. No, it will remain as it is. But you now know the secret. What secret you know? Secret is now with you. What is the secret? I am there. This is me. I am talking to myself. I am talking to myself, listening to myself. Everything is me. Let it go. But this takes away big burden. Big burden is now gone. Once you come to know this. To one whom this has happened, one who is now enlightened, to that Dakshinamurti, this is our namaskara. This Dakshinamurti who was first ignorant, is now enlightened, to that Dakshinamurti is we offer this salutations. So this is first verse. First verse itself was with a bang, Shows you, we don't have much time to go into this, but showing this creation as mithya is a big thing. This vast, big world. Swamini ji, is it mithya? Mithya doesn't mean you continue to see it. But now perception is different. Now the third eye is opened. And Shiva has 3 eyes. When the third eye is opened, then he sees the reality of the creation. Similarly, this third one is opened. So this is what the first verse is saying. Thank you. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. I have taken your permission for granted and took 10 minutes more.